Hey guys, welcome to Motoroids. My name is Amit and this is the MG Astor. Now this vehicle has been tested by us on the Buddh International Circuit where my colleague Vipul did a very detailed review of this vehicle. However, we could not drive it on the road back then and we could not tell you a lot about some things that you can understand only when the vehicle has been driven in the real world, like fuel efficiency and the ride quality of this vehicle. A lot of other things have also been deciphered by us, and in this video today I'm going to tell you the 10 things that make the MG Astor stand apart and a few other things which are not so great about it. So without much ado, let's get started. आगे बढ़ने से पहले एक ज़रूरी बात, अगर आप ये वीडियो हिंदी में देखना चाहते हैं तो हमारा मोटरॉइड्स हिंदी चैनल अब लाइव है, वहाँ जाइए और सब्सक्राइब कीजिए। सारे मोटरॉइड्स वीडियो आपको हिंदी भाषा में वहाँ पर मिल जाएंगे। अब आपके पास शिकायत करने का कोई मौका नहीं है, तो ज़रूर सब्सक्राइब कीजिए। Now the first thing about this vehicle that will impress you is that while it doesn't look very big by the looks of it, it indeed is longer, wider and taller than the other vehicles in this category except for the Duster and Kicks. So if you compare it with the Creta, with the Seltos, with the Kushaq and even with the Taygun, this vehicle indeed is the longest, widest and the tallest, although the wheelbase here is the shortest in the class. So in effect, this is quite a large vehicle, and don't go by the looks of it, it is quite a sizable vehicle. The second thing that really impressed us about the Astor is its ride and handling, and there was a reason why MG took us to Buddh International Circuit for the launch of this vehicle, because it rides and handles so beautifully. Now while the ride is slightly on the firmer side, it never is uncomfortable. It takes bad roads and it's tried really well, but when you're behind the steering wheel and if you want to be enjoying a set of bends, this car really enthralls you. It's one of the nicer handling cars in the segment, and if you're an enthusiast, someone who likes driving, this car is definitely going to impress you. So if you want to buy a car that you want to drive yourself, go take a test drive. Don't take my word for it, this car really drives and handles very well. Now the third notable thing about this car is its looks. Now while we were not very impressed with the MG Hector's proportions and styling, it looked gaudy and kitschy from certain angles. It wasn't very proportionate. Also, this car is very beautifully done, and if you look at the proportions, it just feels nice. Looks like a very European car. Look at that big studded grille up front, big bold grille with that big MG logo in the middle, those beautiful headlamps, and the overall styling up front is also very nicely done. So while the front looks very premium, sporty and imposing, when you go to the side, it doesn't have too tall of a roof line. It has a very nice, muscular yet elegant expression, and at the rear also with its twin 4 exhausts and those LED lights, that big MG logo, this car looks quite nice and premium. So I quite like the way this car looks, and its styling is definitely one of its highlights. Now the fourth highlight of this car, which is quite a big highlight, is advanced driver assistance systems, which by the way are available only in the Astor in this class. So you won't have those features in any other car in this segment, be it the Creta, be it the Seltos or the Kushaq or the Taygun or the Duster or the Kicks. This car has advanced systems, and not just the basic level 1 systems, it has level 2 systems wherein it has adaptive cruise control. The car can accelerate or decelerate based on how fast the car in front of you is going. It can keep lanes, it can stop itself if there is an obstruction up front. So the system here is very advanced, and along with lane keep assist and many other features, the advanced driver assistance systems on this car really make this stand apart. If you're looking for a next generation car, something which is equipped with loads and loads of technology, this car definitely is head and shoulders above its peers. If you want to buy similar features, you will have to look at the next segment, which is the segment where the XUV 700 resides, and that Indian maker definitely has made us proud by offering all of those features in the XUV 700. But in this segment, this is the only car with all those features. Now the space of a car also extends to its boot, and with 448 liters of boot space, this car has one of the biggest boots in its class, and it's definitely bigger than the Creta, the Seltos, although it's smaller than the Duster, but it's slightly bigger than the Kicks also. It's much bigger than the Kushaq and the Taygun. So if you're going to be traveling with your family with a lot of luggage, this car has a lot of space. Also, the rear seat comes as a 60-40 split unit, so you can tumble one of the parts down to extend the boot area and load it further. So that was what we could tell you about the car from the outside. Now coming into the cabin, The fifth big thing that you'd love about this car is the quality and the finish of the interior. A lot of cars in this segment will have hard to touch materials on the dash, but not on the Astor. This material is soft to touch, and that really is something because generally cost cutting happens there, and MG have not cut any corners there, so that's something really worth mentioning. And this leather here also on the dashboard is of a very premium quality. I like the color also, adds a very nice and sporty touch to the dashboard. You get this D-cut steering, leather on the steering, leather on the gear knob. These inlays here in satin silver look very nice, and overall if you look at the upholstery including the seats, all of it has been done very nicely. So while on the MG Hector you can see some inconsistencies, in the MG Astor the quality of the interior is really nicely done, and in fact the quality and the fit and finish of the material is something that needs a mention and is a highlight of the MG Astor. Now, sitting up front, while it's very difficult to talk about space because generally cars have decent space up front, this car, as I mentioned, is the longest, widest and tallest among its peers, like the closest rivals. So while up front also, as you can see, the headroom here is quite generous, but when I go at the rear, you would see that the space at the rear also is fantastic. And in fact, let's just go and sit in the back seat and see how much space we have there, because that's the sixth big highlight of this car. As you would have noticed, the entry is pretty easy. It's not too tall a car, so even the elderly and the women, the shorter ones amongst you, can get inside very easily. And the knee room here, the leg room here, all of that is very generous. As you can see, the headroom here is also quite generous, so even 6-footers or taller people can sit here without any problem. And the space here is quite generous, as I mentioned, although in this segment you cannot seat 3 people abreast in any of the cars, and if you want to seat a third person in the middle, this seat will suit only medium journeys. But having said that, the space here is par for the course, and as compared to the other cars in the segment, the space here is very good. And in terms of convenience features, comfort features, you have this central armrest with these 2 cup holders, which is very nice. You have 3 individual headrests. There is an AC vents, there are 2 USB sockets. You have ISOFIX child seat mounts, a dedicated seat belt for the third passenger. The cabin is very well insulated, so there is a very quiet atmosphere inside. The audio quality is decent, the ride quality is fantastic. So in terms of space and comfort, this car comes across as a very nice family car which you can travel in with your family without any problem, and that again, as I mentioned, is a great feature and the 6th highlight of this car. Now the 7th highlight of this car is the generous set of features that it comes loaded with, and apart from the ADAS, which no other car in this segment offers, there are a lot of other features also that this car offers. And even for the base variant, if you go to see, there are so many features that this car offers. So I'll tell you about the features on the base variant when you talk about the price of the car, but as the 7th highlight, if you look at it, there's a very nice high resolution screen here. There is an instrument console there. It comes with connected car tech, and along with that it comes with this pod which can listen to your commands and look up the internet and give you all the information that you're looking for. So all of that is something which is very advanced. This pod here is very conversational. In fact, we have done a different video on the features of this pod. You can find it on our channel. So this entire voice command feature on this car is fantastic. If you go to see, it comes with a very beautiful, very large panoramic sunroof, which is one of the largest in this segment. Apart from that, it comes with 6 airbags. It comes with all 4 disc brakes. And while there are some features which are missing, I'm going to talk about it when we talk about the negatives of this car. But generally, in terms of features, this car comes loaded, and it's one of the most feature-rich cars in its segment, and that really is a big highlight for this car. Apart from the ADAS, which is a standout feature for this segment, this car also comes with electric seats, which no other car in this segment offers. So that again is a feature that needs a mention. Now, while the looks of a car and its features are very important, what really powers a car and is really the heart of the car is the engine, and the engine transmission on this car is also something which is very noteworthy. And we are today driving the 1.3 litre turbo petrol, which comes with 140 PS of peak power and 220 Newton meters of peak torque. And the engine here is very refined, and while it's not the most powerful engine in its class, it still is very, very responsive, feels very nice and peppy. And for the ones amongst you who like driving their cars themselves, this engine has enough firepower to plaster a big smile on your face. Although we really miss paddle shifters here, but it does come with a very intelligent automatic transmission. And if you require it to be manually shifted, you can move it into the manual mode. But overall, the engine transmission combo here is very competent and among the best in the segment. Now, the ninth big thing about this car is something that no other car or a brand offers in this segment or any other segment. MG, just like the Hector, is offering a 3-year buyback program on this car, and after using this car for 3 years and up to 60,000 kilometers, you can sell this car back to MG for up to 60% of its value, which is fantastic. So you can buy this car and use it for a very long period of time, and you'd be assured that your money will be given back to you reasonably well. So the resale value for this car is assured by MG. That's a great peace of mind. And in addition to that, you get 3 years unlimited kilometers warranty, 3 years RSA, and 3 years labor-free service, which again can be extended, customized by you. If you want to extend it to say 4 years or 5 years for say the RSA or for the warranty or for labor-free services, you can pay something extra and extend it further. So all of these things come together as a fantastic proposition for someone who's buying this car, and gives him that additional peace of mind so that he can buy this car and use it for a very long period of time without any concerns. Finally, nothing defines the value of a car better than its price, and in terms of price also, this car is one of the best priced. Now, why the price of this car is important is because not just it's very competitively priced. If you compare it with say the Creta and the Seltos, its base variant is less expensive. Even the top variants are slightly less expensive. In fact, if you compare it with the Kushaq and with the Taigun, there is a significant difference in the top variant. But that's not just it. What's more important is that it comes with features that those cars don't have. So that differentiation is there. If you're looking for value in terms of the money that you spend, you'll get a bigger car with a very powerful engine. If you go with the say the Kicks or the Duster, there you have bigger cars with a more powerful engine, but there you don't have half the features that you have here. So in terms of value, what MG is offering here is a very competitive pricing and a lot of extra features. So if you're looking for a car which is contemporary, very modern, comes with a very competent petrol engine with automatic transmission, and is loaded to the gills with segment defining features, the value proposition here is simply great. And from 10 lakh to 17 lakh rupees, this car offers something for everyone. If you want to go with a naturally aspirated engine, that is also there. And if you want to go all out with ADAS level 2 technologies, that too is here for a very, very reasonable price. So those were all the positives of the Astor, but no car comes without its own set of negatives, and this car also has its own flaws. And the biggest of those is the fact that if you're going with the version that we have with us here, the 1.3 litre petrol with automatic, it's not one of the cars which has a very high fuel efficiency number. And within the city, you'll get about 8 to 9 kmpl if you're driving with a very light right foot. And on the highway also, you'll not get more than 12 to 13 kmpl, which is not very high. So unless you have a low mileage, you're not taking your car out for very long journeys, this car is perfectly suitable for you. If the use is not much, because the price is quite reasonable. But if you are going to be using your car for high mileage, you are going to be traveling out of town very frequently, then the fuel efficiency here is going to add up and probably put some burden on your pocket. So that's not one of the USPs of this car. Also, while this car is loaded with features, there are some small features which are missing here. And this thing here, it's not too difficult to integrate, but the IRVM here is manual. You don't have ventilated seats, which are available in less expensive cars these days. You don't have paddle shifters, as I mentioned, which is, I think, an omission. You also don't have a wireless charger, which I think is an even bigger omission, because it's not a very expensive thing to integrate here. That could probably have been here. Also, this car does not come with a cooled glove box, and that again is not a feature which requires a lot of money from a manufacturer's perspective to integrate. So that feature again should have been here. So these are some little features which are missing, not deal breakers, but we really would have wanted these features to be here. Also, while you have a 360-degree camera here, I'm not really a big fan of the resolution, and the clarity on this camera could probably have been a little bit better, because it's a modern car and the resolution here is nothing to write home about. Now, still talking about the price, the base variant of this car comes loaded, and no other car in its base variant gives you so much like this one does. Now, to name just a few features that the base variant has, of course it has more features, but I'm going to just name the most significant ones. It comes loaded, and these features include a touchscreen, leather upholstery, a projector headlamp with the crystal LED DRLs, rear AC vents, shark fin antenna, a soft to touch dashboard, Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, audio controls on steering, a 60/40 split rear seat armrest with cup holders, auto AC with air filter with PM 2.5, ESP, hill hold, hill descent, electronic stop signal, all 4 discs. It comes with a rear defogger, wiper and washer. Now, in the base variant you have some features missing, like the Hello Astor feature, ADAS technologies, connected car features and 360-degree cam and a few others, but I still think that the base variant of this car gives you a big bang for your buck. Finally, as an extension of the topic, I started the negatives with the fuel efficiency here is not all that great, and I for one is someone who loved diesels, and I am saddened at the demise of that powertrain. I really believe that the diesel has been killed for all the wrong reasons. The diesels, while they are blamed for pollution, I really believe that they help you go further for every given liter of fuel, and with modern technologies the emissions could have been controlled, but we have to live with what is happening right now, and this car also had to contend with the growing tighter emission norms, and it doesn't come with a diesel engine. So for those of you who want to be going out for long distances, want a car which is very, very fuel efficient and can take you very long distances without having to refill, this probably is not a car for you, because a small diesel engine can definitely give you a lot better fuel efficiency. So in that sense, if you're looking for a car which is very, very fuel efficient, there is a lack of diesel here, and that is something that you'll have to contend with. So that's that, guys. The MG Astor, one of the most loaded cars in its segment. Very, very good value for money, very well designed, drives and handles very beautifully. A very good family car, very spacious and very comfortable. If you're making a decision to buy in this segment, don't do that before you have taken a test drive of this car. It's a very competent car, and it would get you a very good bang for your buck. I really hope that I was able to answer all your questions about this specific car. Still, if you have any questions, put them down in the comment section. I'll be very happy to answer those questions. And if you like this video, do not forget to like this video, subscribe to Motoroids, share it with your friends and family who would benefit from it. And until next time, this is Amit Changani signing off. Rev hard, rev free, and drive safe.